Mexico into Mexicalli. One of the things people always ask us, is it safe to drive down the Baja? Is it a good road? What's it like? Well, we think it's a snap. Bienvenidos a La Paz.
So we're going to show you what it takes to get into Mexico. To Mexico. So how are we getting there this year? Right now we're in Calexico, United States, California, and we're going to cross the border here. And why are we crossing here? Because last year we went through Tijuana and that was pretty busy.
It's busy. It's a big city once you cross the border.
So we're going to show you what it takes to get into Mexico. So right now we're on Highway 11. This is Imperial Avenue. And you can see the sign, we got to turn right to get onto West 2nd Avenue. And then the border crossing will be on the left here. And we're going to try not to get into the same situation that we did last year,
where we had to walk back over the border and walk back over again to get our tourist permit because we missed the very tiny little sign. Stop. The flag, the aduana for your tip, is located on the left. There we go. So this must be the awning area. We'll ask when we... I don't know.
I think this is... Okay. So it's a good thing we stopped. I wasn't sure again, but that's what you need to get in. Now it's not very clear where you have to stop. I'll show you a couple of pictures, but right behind me is where you need to go in. You need to get your tourist card and pay for it before you go through the next checkpoint. So I'll show you.
It's very easy to miss it.
We missed it last year, and I'll show you a little bit of what we had to do last year. But anyhow, when you're coming through the West Mexicalli border, after you go through the first, what it looks like a checkpoint with the awnings, make sure you stay to the left, go in a very small parking lot that only has room for about 10 people, go in there first, and then you have to go inside and get your tourist card, pay for it, and then you can get through the next checkpoint. If you don't do that, you'll have to come back through the border, and getting back into the States takes a long time for you to come right back here to do it all over again. Anyhow, I'll talk a little bit more about that as soon as we get through the border. Let's get through. So like I said, it's important to get this tourist card right before you get into this, right where it says Mexico on the next checkpoint. Now it can seem very easy to get through without the tourist card because nobody really checks for it. So you kind of think, do I really need to have it? And yes, you really need to have it. Because by doing a land crossing, you actually get a land tourist card. The air tourist card is different. Now, if you're driving down the Baja, and if you get all the way to Cabo San Lucas, and for whatever reason, if you get pulled over or if anybody checks where your tourist card is, if you don't have it, they can make you drive all the way back here to get it. There is nowhere else to get it except for the border for a land crossing.
And there's fines.
Yeah. So what happens if you don't have it? They can fine you, they can put you in detention, and they can even export, which means they can send you home without your vehicle. Then you got to figure out how to get it. The other thing we learned is, depending on who your insurance provider is, if you had an accident down there and you don't have your tourist card, potentially you won't have insurance to cover yourselves. And depending on who your health provider is, if you have an issue down there and you don't have your tourist card, potentially you might not get covered by that either. So like I said, for the cost of a $40 permit for 6 months, get your tourist card so you can get down here properly. Then you don't take any chances for any of those things.
Registration. This is insurance and registration. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to get a trailer through here. We're in!
Like it or not, we're in.
Get ready, Mexico!
Okay, so that was very tight. Now, if you're in an RV or a truck, I wouldn't come to the west border.
No.
It is really tight to get through there. There is nowhere to pull over to get your tourist card if you're in an RV. So that's where you need to go to the Calexico east border
east.
if you're in an RV. There is nowhere to pull over in there. I don't think you could ever get through. Okay, we're in Mexico. Let's get going.
Okay, let's go.
So one more thing, if you're driving down to the Baja, what you got to get is you got to get Mexico car insurance. Now you can get that online ahead of time, and the service that we use is called Baja Bound. And you don't have to go to an office or an agent anywhere. You purchase it there. You carry that with our Canadian insurance, or US, or wherever you're from. Then you're covered for any incidents down here. But Canada and US insurance will not cover you down in Mexico. So that's something you need to make sure you got before you come down here. I'll put a link in the description. Baja Bound is the one that we use.
And it's cheaper than ICBC.
So one thing I forgot to mention, what makes it so easy to drive down to the Baja Mexico with your own vehicle is on the Baja, you don't need a vehicle import permit. And a vehicle import permit to get into Mexico can cost you a little bit of money, but you also have to leave a deposit behind, and it's tied to your passport. And in order to get the deposit back, you have to cross back into the US to get it. But on the Baja, because it's a tourist zone, there's no vehicle import permits required. Anyhow, hopefully that helps if you're thinking about coming down to the Baja.